Hello class, in the previous video we created the pivot table based on the behavioral diagnosis patient profile here, and now we are moving towards creating the pivot table for type 2 diabetes mellitus patient profile. What you would find is there are 82 clients in this previous profile. So how would you know that there are 82 clients? What am I going to do is just select all of this, the very first column, either of the columns. If you select, right, it will automatically, the Excel is going to count 82 clients. And in here, let's see how many clients are there. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Let's see. There are 169 clients. We would try finding all 82 clients in this sheet. But before we try finding it, definitely we are not going to try manually, like picking out each and every client of the previous worksheet or the patient of the previous worksheet into this. It will take really long time, and that's where pivot table comes in handy. But before creating the pivot table, it is important to fill out the age column. So there are two formulas that I have listed out here. Calculation 2, calculation 1. My personal favorite is calculation 1, so I'm going to use that as it would be easier for me to type versus while holding and recording this video versus calculation 2. It's going to take me longer to type all of that, but you're welcome to try that out if you would like to do that and see how it is working. Okay, so what am I gonna do to calculate the age? And you would do the same with me. Put the equal sign with open parentheses, and then you're gonna select the current date minus the date of birth, close the parentheses, divide it with 365. And tab it. So it is showing you the result in so many decimals out here. So the reason being is that up here it says general. So what am I going to do here is make it to number. I still do not want to have these decimal places. So what am I going to do is, oh no, this is increasing the decimal places, so we're going to reduce the decimal places by doing that. All right, we're going to do the same thing to number. Okay, now if I drag this, it shows me numbers in negative. So by dragging the cell out here means that you're trying to copy the formula. But what is happening is when you try to copy the formula, G4 it is switching over to G4 instead of G3. See, in this formula it's G4. G4 is an empty cell. So it's negative date of birth divided by 365, and it's like operating as a mathematical function of division over division. So we will go ahead and delete that. So as you can see, what I did was simply have G3 minus B5 divided by 365. In order to make it look like this, how to get the dollar signs in front of G3. The reason to do that is so that you can fix G3 cell. It is a common point from which you have to calculate the age, as it's the current date. So we are going to calculate the age as per that. So what you're going to do is select G3, and then hit on the keyboard, on your keyboard, you're gonna do F4. When you do the F4, it will get into that form of $G3, $3, $3, and now you can tab it. And now you can go ahead and fill out the whole column with the same, oops, I went too far ahead. Okay, come on. Okay, here, stop. See? So you have everything in place now. Each time you click on the cell, you will see that the G3 is fixed. This is fixed, and the birth dates are changing, divided by 365. It's in the number form, and we have reduced the decimal places in order to get the whole number. Okay? Right, now we're gonna try create the pivot table in order to find all of the 82 patients from the previous data, from the previous worksheet. Once again, select, and then go to insert and create the pivot table on the existing worksheet. I'm gonna select OK. There is already data in class activity 1, sheet 1. Do you want to replace it? Oh, what happened? Okay, let me try doing it again. Pivot. Well, I did not select, so I'm gonna now select it. Okay, and then try a new worksheet. Okay. So in the same Excel, I created another worksheet. Oh, by the way, and I forgot one more thing. While I was teaching face-to-face class, some of the students using MacBook or the Apple laptops, the F4 wasn't functioning the way it had to create this formula. So one of the students suggested try using FN key combination, FN plus F4. Okay, FN plus F4. All right, so let's go back to creating pivot table out here. I'll have to flip it so that you can have a better vision of that. So I'm gonna do ID in the rows, as that's my primary point of data analysis, that I like to see all of the patients from the previous data, all 82 patients amongst this 169 patients. I like to see their age, and I'd like to see their ER visit costs. Okay, so let's see. Well, once again, it's not a very cleaner view. So what am I gonna do is I'd like to group the ID. Oh yeah. So why that happened was sum of ID. No, I want the count of ID. Okay. I would like to see the age groups. So I'm gonna place age over ID. All right, so I have all the IDs listed here, but what I want to do is find out the IDs from the previous sheet. So I'm gonna select ID and put it under the filter. By doing so, I have the filter. The good thing about that is it arranges all the IDs in the increasing decreasing order, and I'm going to select multiple items so that, well, by selecting that, I'll have to deselect and then choose all my patient profile from here. So just to show you and give you an idea, you will select all patients. I'm not selecting all patients. I will select a couple of them, and then like I have selected 11 of them. So now I'll play around with this 11 patients data. So I'd like to know their age. So first of all, I'll have to place this, and then I'd like to know their age. And since there are only 11, I can place it in the columns and see what age group they fall into. But I could switch it over here to see like this patient is 65 years old, this patient is 58 years old. I'd like to see the ER visit, how many ER visits each patient has made. So I would go ahead and put it underneath the age, and I can see that this patient age 65 had 3 ER visits. This patient age 58 had 1 ER visit. This patient age 64 had 1 ER visit. Okay, what else can I do? ER visit cost, I'd like to place it underneath that, and it will list out all ER visit costs as well. All right, I'd like to know, let's try putting it ER visit cost, the sum of ER visit cost. Okay, let's place it up here, and I'm gonna do ER visit cost and sum of ER visit cost. Okay, and then take this over here. So this became ER visit cost, the sum of ER visit cost. Let me take away age so that it looks cleaner. Okay, and then okay, and then what I did was initially it was like that, and it was giving you this view. Now what I did was placed ED visits or ER visits over ID. So it is categorizing like how many had 0 ER visits, 3 of them. How many had 1 ER visit, 4 of them. How many had 2 of them. How many had 3, 1 of them, and the total cost. So this patient's cost about $15,000 in the ER visits. These are fake numbers. Once again, it's gonna be more than that, more than $15,000 for the 11 patients visiting the ER visit for type 2 diabetes mellitus. So this is kind of studying those patients having behavioral diagnosis as well as the type 2 diabetes, and help clinicians provide such kind of a data and help them better manage the treatment plan for the patients and provide them better care by giving out results like, hey, this patient up here is going to ER visit for yeah, there are 4 ER visits, and